What's up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF, man, back with another recap. This one's not going to be so positive, so if you guys are looking for positive, you might as well click off, man, because this one was disappointing. This is a win we most definitely should have had. Made so many stupid mistakes down the stretch, so many turnovers, and bad coaching as well. I did not like the fact that Luke put Isaiah Thomas in the fourth quarter there to finish the game when he was having a bad game. I don't agree with that. It's one thing if he's having a good game, but it's a total different one if he's having a bad game. And today, he had the worst game that he has had since he's been with the Lakers. I will criticize him today because I did not like the way that he came out. Tonight, he did seem selfish. Tonight, he wasn't hitting shots and he continued to force stuff. And tonight, that last shot right there was I'm trying to get a contract shot. So, my thing is, when he plays like he did tonight, leave him on the bench. Let the guys close the game who were closing the game. This is, again, nobody in particular player's fault. I'm not blaming this whole thing on Isaiah, but this is going to get spread around pretty well. Look, we played well in the paint. Julius Randle and Brook Lopez, they played amazing inside. However, we went away from that. We started, again, settling. We started going to the wrong people, to KCP, to Isaiah Thomas, and they went cold. And we went on these dry spells that allowed Miami to gain momentum of this game, unfortunately. And there, to close the fourth quarter, Kuzma kind of got hot, and we went away from it. This is what I hate from the coaching staff that we have been doing all year. When somebody gets hot, we go away from him. I hated the fact that Isaiah Thomas ended this game when he wasn't playing well. Okay, I'm all for Isaiah Thomas when he's playing well, but when he's not playing well like tonight, you don't put him in to finish the game. You got to draw up a play for Kyle Kuzma or Julius Randle or Brook Lopez to finish this game. Okay, that's bad coaching again. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat from people for saying this is a bad coaching, but I'm very disappointed. This is a game that should have been in the bag. You know, Luke Walton made two poor decisions there in the fourth quarter. The first one was not to call the timeout right after we get the ball. So then the shot clock dwindled down from 12 points to 14 seconds, all the way down to what? It dwindled down all the way to 7 seconds, and it ended up with a contested jumper by Isaiah. So two bad calls. First one was letting the clock wind down instead of calling a timeout right off the bat. And the second one is subbing in Isaiah and not calling the play for the guys who were hot. Randle had another monster game. He had, what, 25 points, 11 rebounds? Okay. Brook Lopez was having a good game. He could easily go over anybody. Give him a shot. He's closed games for us this year. And, you know, third, again, we give it to the guy who wasn't having a good game. I don't understand the logic with this coaching staff. Is Luke Walton trying to get Isaiah Thomas a new contract? Because that's what it looked like tonight. And that's not what we're playing for. We're not playing to get guys' contract. We're playing to get wins. So that's my problem, guys. And again, Tyler Ennis entered the fourth quarter with Isaiah Thomas, which turned out to be easy hoops for Miami. Those are the differences in games. People don't want me to criticize Luke. There's a lot of Luke Walton stands out here. There's a lot of people that can't even hear me say his name because they go crazy. You know, they even say that I'm riding him or whatever. But the truth is, a lot of this is because of the bad coaching. Think about it. He took out Isaiah Thomas, who was having a bad game. Lakers make a comeback behind Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma never touches the ball after that, after the timeouts. That's all I'm saying. If that's not bad coaching, then what is? You know? And I get it. Everybody has a bad game. I'm not going to go and say, you know, Isaiah Thomas is trash because of one bad game. But tonight he looked really bad, especially because he was forcing it. This is the first game I can officially say Isaiah Thomas looked selfish. And it's just one game. So, again, I'm not going to trash him too hard. But my thing is, if he's having a bad game, bench him. He did a good job of doing that with the last 5 minutes in the game. And then he ruined everything by putting him back in the fourth quarter and having him force a jump shot. That's tough. That's tough, man. That's heartbreaking for Julius, for Kuzma, and for Brook, who are all having good games. And I'm sure they lose confidence in the coach when something like this happens. Pretty much you can kiss the playoffs goodbye. That's fine. That's not even my problem. My problem is these are games that we should have been closing out. And there has been poor coaching. I don't understand the concept that if somebody's having a good game, you go away from that player. You don't even call plays for him. Kuzma was hitting shots. He hit the three-pointer to put us on top, and he didn't get to touch the ball after that. I don't get that. I don't grasp that. That flies right past me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not good coaching. You know? Yeah, it was a very sloppy game. We had 20-plus turnovers. We didn't deserve to win tonight. I get that. But we could have won. We could have won. And yet, what happened? What happened, guys? Kevin King, I'm right there with you. We have lost probably more than 15 to 20 games at the hands of poor coaching decisions in the end. I'm dead serious. I've been counting them. It's been, and it's in the vicinity. From 15 to 20 games we have lost this season based off of last-minute decisions that Luke has or hasn't made. You know, how can you have, Tyler, and I don't understand how Tyler Ennis is even in the NBA. I tweeted this out. But how can you have him in the fourth quarter with Isaiah Thomas? Come on, dude. This ain't Golden State. Stop trying to go super small ball. It doesn't work. 1 for 9, Isaiah Thomas, and he shoots the last shot. I don't get that. If he was on, okay, I get it. He was on. Okay, cool. He was not on tonight. It wasn't his night. Somebody else deserves that shot. Julius deserved that shot over Isaiah Thomas. Even though he missed the one before that, who cares? It was a good, high percentage bucket, you know? It was just... And you know what? There were positives tonight. Lonzo Ball didn't settle for three-pointers tonight. He helped out our team doing different things. You know, and that was welcome to see. But where he improved, Isaiah Thomas screwed us over tonight. And Kuzma really didn't play that great either. I mean, they were turning the ball over a lot, him and KCP as well. But he came through in the fourth, and I've noticed this kid is big time. He deserves, He deserves to get the final shot the way he was playing, you know? It's tough, man. It's tough, guys. I'll let you guys debate whose fault it is. I'm not going to blame it on a single person. Tonight, there's shared fault. But I thought the coaching staff did a horrible job of, again, putting us in position to win. Also, I thought that was so stupid of the NBA to review that play. It hit the rim. But, I mean, it's funny how they pay attention to detail when it's against us. But when it's for us, all kinds of calls just fly past them. So, I don't know, man. This was... It's not the most disappointing loss of the season. For sure it's not. But it's up there, man. Because, again, we let Goran Dragic beat us tonight. Previous night it was, Kevin Durant. It's like at some point you have to take the ball out of the hands of those players that are beating you. And I just don't see any game planning from the coaching staff, as far as that goes. Like, I know when Kevin Durant is hot, he's going to kill us. I know when Goran Dragic is hot, he's going to kill us because Luke never makes the adjustments. Kelly Olynyk tonight as well. How do you have Ivica Zubac on Kelly Olynyk, who's obviously much more mobile? That doesn't work. You should have had Travis Ware on him the whole game as off the bench, or when Brook Lopez went to the bench. That's tough. That's really tough. Stuff like that, man. Stuff like that really bothered me. And credit to Dragic. He had a great game. He killed us. I don't hate him or nothing. I'm just saying, like, we have to make them adjust offensively. We can't let them, this guy got in the lane, right, off of a screen and roll, and just hit a nice little floater jump shot right over Brook. Like, he's been doing that the whole game, coming off screen and rolls and making Brook have to decide, either you're going to come out or I'm going to bounce pass it to the roll man. And, we never stopped it. Part of that is because of the players on the floor. I get it, Brook is slow-footed, but again, there were times where Kelly Olynyk was wide open because Zubac was on him. We all know Zubac can't guard, stretch bigs, but yet we have bigs who can actually guard those guys. We have, I thought Travis Ware was great, and I thought he should have had more minutes. Thomas Bryant didn't even play. Good point. But, yeah, Dragic totally killed Lonzo offensively. But again, I like the way Lonzo played. He was hustling. He was all over the place. Still made some mistakes. Still had some mental lapses. He hasn't been the same like since five games ago. When he came fresh off that injury, he was super ultra aggressive and he was just beasting. But it's just, yeah, we're letting one guy. We're letting one guy beat us night in and night out. The other night it was KD. Tonight it was Dragic, and we can't. Our coaching staff isn't doing a good job of game planning for those guys and trying to get the ball out of their hands. I mean, come on, But that's all I'm saying, guys. It was a horrible loss in my book. I felt like Isaiah Thomas, this was his worst game by far. And he started off okay. He was playmaking with Randle and all that, but then he went away from that and just started over dribbling. And they were all over him tonight. And he should have adjusted his game and got it out of his hands faster, but he didn't. And I was okay with Luke benching him. I was happy. We actually got the lead. But then what happens, you know? Instead of going to the hot hand, which was Kyle Kuzma, you know, we went completely away from him. You know, Julius, that was a good shot. I'm not even mad about that. The one he had by the rim, he just missed it. But in reality, like I said, the final shot should have been taken by one of the hot hands. That's what good coaching does. You ride the hot hand. You can't give it to the guy that's 1 for 9 to close out the game. Trust me. Not just the fans are questioning the coaching. The players question the coaching when they don't get the ball and they were hot. You know, I saw Julius, the way he was walking off. That's only going to create more tension between him and Isaiah. But that doesn't matter because he's going to be gone after the season regardless. But my point is, like, as a coach or as a coaching staff, you have to do a better job of finishing these games. Big time. You know, you can't just stay the same way, you know. But, again, it is what it is. At this stage, we just want to try to get as close to 40 as possible. Playoffs are truly looking out of reach now. I'm not even hoping for that anymore. Whatever happens, there happens. But these are all games that we should be winning. And, you know, the coaching staff, not just Luke, the coaching staff, because they have to be in his ear as well, right? I imagine it's not just Luke Walton. They have to be in his ear. You know, they have to put our players in a better position to succeed. That's an easy choice, man. Who's taking the last shot for me? For me, Kyle Kuzma, because he could take you off the dribble. He could pull up the boys. He's a closer, guys. I don't see how Luke Walton doesn't see this. Every fourth quarter or every time we've needed him, he just starts getting us into runs. And I would have closed the game with him. I like the shot by Julius. It just dipped in and out. But my first option would have been Kyle Kuzma, second option Julius, third option, you know, either Brook Lopez or Lonzo to try to win it. But come on, they give it to Isaiah, and he was just horrible tonight. You know, I was really impressed with his play as of late, and tonight I was just like, whoa, like, you can't play like that, bro. You just can't. All right, I'm not gonna say he single-handedly lost because, again, everybody had turnovers. We were sloppy there in the fourth quarter. So many pick and roll plays. There was plays where Lonzo was coming off, and you can see that they're hedging on the screen, and you know the defensive player was just jumping the gap and stealing the pass. Lonzo has to read those. Those are turnovers that kill our momentum. You know. Also, there were plays where Kyle Kuzma forced the bounce pass either to Julius or KCP or the other way around, and what happened? You know, unfortunately, those all turned into turnovers, and we just got sloppy. We should have closed this game out. Again, I guess it's all part of growing pains with these youngsters. But, again, you know, I just didn't like the way we finished the game. I was completely disappointed. We could have easily won this, okay? Even after Goran Dragic makes that shot right there. Even after Goran Dragic made the little floater in the lane, we could have won. And instead, again, we settling for tough, you know, stuff. So it's tough, man. It's tough, guys. This is one of those games that I didn't feel bad for Isaiah Thomas tonight. Tonight it was he took a major part in this tonight. So, you know, I was disappointed with him tonight, and again, disappointed with the coaching staff for letting him back in the game to take the final shot. You don't reward a player that's 1 for 9. So that's my biggest, you know, that's my biggest underlining for the day. Dan, read my comment. Let me see what you said, bro. My bad. I haven't been reading comments. I was just about to get into that right now. Let me go up. Oh, if it's too far up, man, I'm not going to find it, bro. I can only scroll so far up. Oh, there it is. Dan, we should have won that one. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's my whole point. Yeah, all right. I'll get into some comments now, guys. Go ahead, man. Let's hear it. It needs to stop contract chasing. Yeah, but unfortunately, after tonight, I mean, I just realized that he might just be selfish for the rest of these games. He was playing team ball up until tonight. I don't know if that's going to change, and he's now contract seeking, but it totally killed us tonight, big time. And it's not good for the locker room at all, especially when the coaching staff shows favoritism. Like, why do you bring back Isaiah Thomas when he's 1 for 9? You know, you got to be questioning that stuff, you know. Can't wait to get BI. Yeah, I can't wait to get him back neither. I heard he might come back in on Monday when we face Indiana. So hopefully he comes back. Luke said the final play was for Julius. Then why do you put back in Isaiah Thomas? I just don't get it. You know, we don't need him, Dan. Nothing personal. Nah, I know we don't need Isaiah. Like I said, look, I said this when we made the trade. I don't expect Isaiah to stay long term. Now, he kind of won me over with the way he was playing and stuff if he had bought into the six-man role. But even tonight, before that, I addressed it in my pregame. I said if he doesn't want to buy into a six-man role, there's nothing here for him. You know, he needs to move along. And that's okay. But tonight was his worst game thus far. He was off, and he just kept forcing it and forcing it. I don't appreciate when nobody forces it. Let it come naturally to you. If you're on, go for it. If you're off, now it's a problem. My problem with people was they were trashing him when he was on or when he was playing good and contributing, when he was having like double-digit assists and stuff. That's my problem with people. You know, you can't hate on the kid when he's doing good. Hate on him tonight. Tonight he did atrocious. Go for it. Go for it. Hate on him. That's cool. But at the end of the day, it's not just one person's fault. The whole team, again, Kuzma didn't have the best of games. He showed up there in the fourth a little bit, but he was off tonight. He really wasn't as aggressive as I like him to be. Sometimes that's on the coaching staff as well, because I feel like they don't use him properly. He could take people off the dribble. He has all kinds of moves in his arsenal that you can utilize. And sometimes I feel like guys who shouldn't be getting shots off the dribble, like KCP, I think when KCP goes off the dribble, unless it's off of a cut or a wide open shot, I don't like it. So, you know, that bothers me. No, I don't hate Isaiah Thomas. He's still a good player, but again, tonight he did us a big-time disservice by over-dribbling, turning the ball over, and forcing shots. That's just not the way to play basketball. Luke was pissed. He should have been pissed at himself for subbing in Isaiah Thomas again. Didn't even give us a shot to get a good look. So that's a problem. When you have two big men who are on, you got to at least give them one. Give one of them a shot. So Dan, KCP was good tonight. On the defensive end, hustle end, yes. He hit a couple of shots here and there, but I think, like I said, in general, KCP off the dribble, when he tries to take people off the dribble, it's either a turnover waiting to happen or a bad pass or just a like low percentage bucket. So that's what I'm talking about when I say, you know, off the dribble. But off of cuts and stuff, he's good. Dan, where's the Lucky Laker jacket? Nah, we voted not to wear it tonight. We're going to save it. But unfortunately, like I said, tonight was a very winnable game. Even in the fourth quarter, we could have had it. But just bad decisions, guys. Yep, tonight it was apparent that he's obviously playing for a contract, so I'm not a fan of that. I hope that, because he's going to play himself out of a contract if he continues playing like that. I hope he improves the next couple of games because we need spark off the bench. We don't have enough. After we traded Clarkson and Nance, we don't have enough spark off the bench consistently, so we need his spark. If he's not providing it, since, again, Kuzma is now starting, so our bench is less depth. You know, we're getting outplayed. Our bench has been getting outplayed recently. So, again, ever since everybody got injured, I guess the depth kind of cut in half. So, but this was a winnable game. There's no excuses tonight. We went up against Bam Adebayo and a bunch of, you know, subpar guys. The best player was Goran Dragic, and tonight he showed. You know, tonight he was the best player on the court, even though Julius was right there with him. But we needed a lot more from a lot more people, you know. Dan, Lonzo made some mistakes, but he contributed far more than those few turnovers. I agree. I'm 100% with you, King C. However, like I said, I still need him to be a lot more aggressive than what he was tonight. A lot more aggressive because the way it's night and day the way he was playing, you know, coming off of his injury to how he's playing now. Now he's playing in spurts. When he was coming off of an injury, I don't know if it was because he missed basketball so much. He was like going the extra mile. He was involved in every play, getting rebounds, second chance points. It was just all over the court. We need that Lonzo Ball next. You know, that's what we need. So I'm just saying, like, it really bothered me, you know, that he hasn't been the same ever since, again, like he had that bad Cavalier game. But then I have noticed that the team plays better when it is off the court, like Zoe is more engaged because he jacks up shots. Well, that's debatable because there was a little stretch there when Isaiah Thomas and Lonzo were playing really well off of each other. But recently they have regressed, both of them. Honestly, like I said, Lonzo was playing a lot better when he came off of an injury. And Isaiah Thomas, this last game, I didn't like it at all. So I'm fair, guys. I give praise where praise is due, and I also criticize where they deserve to be criticized. And tonight, the worst player on the floor was actually Isaiah Thomas. So I have to say it. I have to come out and say it, man. Kevin Durant, Kuzma should have got the ball. He hit the clutch shot earlier. I agree. That would have been my preference to take the final shot. I mean, the kid gets hot, and when the kid gets hot, he's pretty hard to stop. So, you're welcome, Alan. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the positivity, man. Much needed. Damn, we should have gave the ball to Randle. He could have got a quick foul or a quick bucket. Yeah, he was on all night. That would have been a good option as well. I would have been all for that. Even Lopez, but Lopez is playing better, Dan. What do you think about that? I like it. I like the way Lopez is playing. I think that's the way, the way Lopez is playing lately, that's the way that I expected him coming into the season. And he disappeared for a good chunk of the season, but it looks like he's finally finding his role. Him and Randle are really feeding off of each other well. I mean, he's been hitting a lot of shots from the outside, but he's also mixing it up with inside game. Where I still want Lopez to improve is his defense. Like, sometimes I don't know, it's because he's a big man, but sometimes he's flat-footed and, like, he gets caught in the middle of no man's land. The last play where Dragic hit that shot over him, that should have been him contesting that all the way or even trying to block it. That's the only thing about Lopez is his defense. Is what it comes at times, and sometimes it just completely disappears. So tough, man. It's tough. Tonight we needed it. We needed Kuzma to have a better game. We needed Isaiah Thomas to have a good game. We needed guys to step up. We're very depleted, and unfortunately, also we needed Ennis to be limited in the court. I hate that lineup when Ennis comes in with Isaiah Thomas. That's double the liability defensively, and offensively, Ennis gives us nothing. So that's what really bothers me about the coaching staff. You got guys like Gary Payton II. I don't even know if we still have him. Is he still on the roster? Because I haven't seen him. And you have other guys. I mean, we should have inked Alex Caruso. We should have cut Tyler Ennis. But it's tough, man. Re-sign Lopez, Dan? Again, that depends on the market and also depends on who we get. If we get our first options, probably not. We're probably not going to have enough to re-sign him. But that's okay. I'm not a huge fan of Lopez like that. I mean, he's been playing a lot better, but can we count on him to do that consistently for a whole season? I don't know, honestly. Gary Payton II is trash. I mean, he's better than Tyler Ennis. I guarantee you that. There's probably like a handful of G Leaguers in that South Bay Laker team that probably are better than Tyler Ennis. So Caruso is trash? Okay. Well, Caruso's a lot better than Ennis as well. He plays better defense, and he's a better passer, so I'll take that. Trade Lonzo next season for a higher draft? Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trade Lonzo. I still think Lonzo's value is extremely high. His potential is it's amazing. I've seen too much of it this season where, even if he doesn't have another good game, I see his potential. And he has a high ceiling. Superstar type ceiling. But he just needs to get more consistent. For sure, Kingsley. I appreciate you, man. You thought I had blocked you earlier. I didn't block you, man. It's just, I don't know. YouTube was acting up. I'm not sure what's up with that. Caruso is 6'5". He is very good on defense. I agree. People always just judge players based on their offense, but that bothers me because there's so much other things they can do. This was a horrible loss. There's no explanation, honestly, for this loss. I mean, we have the talent to beat these teams, but it just, again, coaching decisions, Isaiah Thomas, poor play. Kuzma really didn't have a great game. He showed up there in the fourth at the end, but there's so many things we need to improve on that we could still get better, and that's what makes us a scary team. When we actually start firing on all cylinders consistently and closing out these weaker teams, even though they have a better record than us, but they were depleted. They didn't have their all-star Hassan Whiteside, Dragic, lone wolf type player. We could have beat that. So, Dan, do you think Lonzo is being passive? I always see him dump the ball on the side and wait for something to happen. Well, a lot of that is on the offensive schemes that they draw up, man. Lonzo Ball should have the ball in his hands for the majority of the time. Sometimes I see that the coaching staff gives it to KCP, let him handle it a bit. At times, Isaiah Thomas. That bothers me because Luke is at best. Lonzo is at best when he's playmaking for everybody and just getting in the lane and wreaking havoc. But again, what can I say? I mean, he didn't have the best. He didn't have the best night tonight, even though he improved. I did like the fact that Lonzo didn't settle for threes. He took like 2 threes tonight, and the rest was like in the paint. So I really appreciate that because he was really killing us with his 3-point shot the last couple of games. So It is scary to me. It seems that Luke doesn't have a clue yet. Sometimes it does seem that way. But again, he has a lot of fans out there that are just gonna defend him religiously, and even call me names because I call him out. But I'm not afraid to call nobody out, man. If somebody has a bad game, including Isaiah Thomas tonight, I'll call him out, and I don't care what nobody thinks. Honestly, I'm trying to keep it 100 with you guys, and that's what I like to do. I like to speak the truth and speak my mind. That's why I made this channel. Dan, what do you think of Thomas Bryant for next season? Seems like a good fit, brings energy, and seems compatible with Randle. I would love to. Of course, he's on the roster for sure next season, but I would love to see him play a little bit more. Did you see the 16 seed beating the number 1 seeded Virginia? I heard about it on Twitter, but I didn't watch. Man, I was so into this game, but unfortunately, we dropped it. Dan, we have to get rid of Dang's contract. Let me read that one by Allen. I have to get rid of Dang's contract. If so, we could sign Randle, no question asked. Yeah, we absolutely need to do everything in our power to re-up with Randle. He's just too good, man. He's going to be one of the top power forwards in this league if he's not already. So he went overnight. He went from questionable to a sure thing. So we need to for sure get him back. He bullies everybody in the paint, including Bam Adebayo. I thought that was a perfect shot. He shot over him. It just didn't go in. But I would like for him to come back with counter moves next offseason, like left-handed layups, like hit him with the right jab fake and come back with the left, type moves like that. If he could add that to his arsenal, it's going to be just insane, man. But yes, Randle needs to stay for sure. Lonzo going to be really good next season. He is going to get bigger and more experience in the offseason and come in with the fire to get that MVP. I hope so. I believe in Lonzo for sure. I think he needs to work on the jump shot and finishing around the basket as well as his mid-range. So he has a lot to work on offensively. Defensively, I love his defensive effort. His athleticism is already good. His IQ for the game is already great. All he needs to work on is his offensive game, in my opinion. And, just potentially learn how to play off the ball, because if LeBron or Paul George or somebody comes, he's going to have to be able to hit shots off the ball. So that's all I got to say about that. Travis Ware is really good, Matt. Good point. We need to ink him potentially to a 1 or 2 year deal. Maybe 1 year with an option. I don't know. But we got to ink him because he's very, very good. Dan, the Lakers fan, what are you going to do about Luke? This is just way too much. It's nothing I can do, bro. All I can do is just keep pointing out his defects and hoping that he either changes or we move on from him. But that's about it. Magic will hire Kareem as a coach and Kobe as a rookie development coach. I doubt it, man. Kobe doesn't have the patience. He'd probably strangle half of these kids. Dan, when is Brandon Ingram coming back? Hopefully on Monday. They said that he's progressing well, and they hope he's day-to-day right now. So he's going to go through some non-contact drills, and then they'll see how he responds to that, yeah. Mr. X says, yo, Luke has to go. Again, that's up to the front office, man. I'm not even going to comment on that. I basically spoke my mind. I'm going to save the rest of my thoughts on Luke for the end of the season. So I will give him a grade then, and we'll see. But, I mean, I would not be mad. I'll tell you that much. I thought Lonzo couldn't shoot as well, but as it turns out, he just really bad conditioning. He can't run for more than 2 minutes. Yeah, you know what? That's been my problem with him is his conditioning. People underrate conditioning is something, the NBA is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So your legs start getting tired towards the end of the season, even though he sat out a huge chunk of the NBA. That only speaks even more volumes to how much he needs to get in shape. He needs to stop eating junk food, because I've seen the show. He eats a lot of junk food. That's going to really affect the way he feels on the court. You eat crap, you feel like crap. That's just the way life works. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I love junk food, but you got to try to stay away from it, especially when you're an athlete, professional athlete, because that really affects everything. But I'm just saying, we'll see, man. We'll see, because Lonzo needs to improve his conditioning big time. He needs to improve a couple of things. So he'll be fine. He has a bright, bright future. I love how our G League coach coached. G League coach, yeah. What was that? Bush. What was his name? Butch. I forgot his name, bro. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. The one from the summer league. I liked him too. We really missing Hart too. Yep, him and Brandon Ingram. We have to get Mark Jackson. I would love him. He's great at player development, but they never, they never give him the credit he deserved. So What about those Mamba jerseys though? Those were fire. I like those black and yellow. They look super clean. So I'm a fan. Butchler, right? Butchler. I'm butchering his name, but is Butchler or something like that? Yeah, he was a good coach, but only a small sample size. Summer league isn't the same as NBA. I'd rather get a known head coach, somebody with a good name attached to him, especially that's good with young players. When is Josh Hart playing? No clue. We haven't heard nothing about him yet, but let's hope he comes back. Let's hope he comes back soon. What you think about Boston signing Greg Monroe? It's a good signing for them. They needed a backup big, right? I'm not sure if they're starting him at times, but they needed a backup big. I mean, Greg Monroe has good footwork around the paint. He can be okay on defense at times, but for the most part, he's a liability defensively. But, he's going to be a good fit for them there, what they're going to do in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but that team right there looks like he can make a playoff run. And I don't want to see him raise the trophy ever, So, but, I mean, as long as you got Kyrie Irving, that guy, to me, he's clutch, man. He hit some clutch shots that not even LeBron has hit in his career in the finals. So, anytime you have a beast like that, the Celtics have a chance to at least get to the finals. But we'll see, because that East, some people believe Toronto has a good shot. I just don't see it. To me, Toronto, they're pretenders, man. Every year they fool people. They're like fool's gold. I just don't think Toronto has what it takes. Kyle Lowry really doesn't show up in the playoffs at all, and DeMar DeRozan's very streaky as well. So I don't see it. If anybody gets out, it's probably going to be Boston, as much as I hate to say it. As long as and they might even have Gordon Hayward back by the time the finals come around. So you just never know. Yeah, they're not getting past the Rockets. I agree. Or the Warriors. But those are actually my favorites to make it to the finals. I think it's going to be Houston versus Boston. I just have a gut feeling based on how the East and West is looking. Toronto this year is for real? Yeah, I don't think so. They say that every year. You got to prove it to me for me to believe it. Like regular season is one thing, but playoff basketball is a total different thing. And I know that DeMar has stepped up his game, but in the playoffs, that's where it really counts, because you have to hit some incredibly tough shots. The defense is going to be draped all over him. Can he hit those shots? Same thing with Lowry, Dan, Lakers fan, do we need Kobe Bryant to return back home with the Lakers? Nah, man. Kobe Bryant is retired. Let's leave him retired, man. Let's not bother Kobe. He's having himself a good, life off the court. So, Gordon Hayward is not coming back this year? Well, I mean, they say most likely not, but you just never know. If they make the finals, he might be there. Toronto going to choke again. Yeah, they do that a lot, man. I thought New Orleans was going to make the playoffs, but Cousins hurt. Trade Isaiah Thomas for Steph Curry. That'll never happen. Dragic was on So's butt. I was hoping So was going to lock him up. Yeah, you know what, Dragic? Here's the thing, and this is our weakness defensively. We are a much improved team. However, pick and rolls kill us. They totally destroy us. Because we have slow pick and roll bigs to defend that. Like Zubats and Lopez can't get through screens. And, when they have to step out to the shooters, it's a three-point shooting league. They take forever to get out to the three-point line. So they're gonna be making shots all over them, all the time. So that's the tough part. When Dragic put us in screen and rolls today, he was able to basically waltz in the paint and do whatever he wanted. Same thing with anybody else, especially other teams that have even better shooters. So it's just, we got to improve our pick and roll defense. We got to improve our communication skills, because sometimes they get lost in translation, and teams are getting wide open layups, and that's the difference between winning and losing these games. You really think the Thunder advance in the playoffs? Heck no. Depends who they match up with in the first round. They're just not going to get far, in my opinion. They don't have no depth off the bench, and they basically rely on Westbrook a lot. Like, I don't even see. I know Paul George is big time in the playoffs, but I think the way Russell Westbrook plays, he takes a lot of his teammates out of rhythm. By the time they get the ball, they're probably cold. So it's just, it is what it is. Not past the second round. Yeah, I don't see them getting past the second round. I agree. Keep dreaming. If Toronto is going to win it all, they won't get through the Celtics or the Cavs. Yep. I didn't see the question. If I didn't see the questions, I'm not going to scroll up, guys. I'm sorry. Either copy and paste or something so I can see it. Cause hello PG-13. We will get George. I hope so, man. We need him. What are the chances of getting Paul George? I'd say they're about 60%. Why people don't like Dragic? Clarkson, Vucevic hates Dragic. I don't know. I mean, I think he's feisty. I think he's too feisty for his own good. I think he gets. I think he gets under people's skin, and I think that's the only reason. But well, let's admit that we are not making the playoffs this year. We caused the playoffs with that 9-game losing streak. Yeah, that's what it's looking like, honestly. But again, my goal for them is to try to get to 40. They still have a shot at that. So they got to get their stuff together and play a lot better, especially the other guys. I mean, Julius is doing what he's doing. He had another monster game tonight. Brook Lopez continues to shine. But, you know, they gotta, everybody else has to be more consistent. Who do we get at center next year? I saw a video saying that with Lonzo shooting from, he needs bigs that can stretch the floor so he can't pull up easily. Right now it's too early to tell, man. Right now it's kind of a thin center free agency. I mean, the best one was DeMarcus, and he's injured, so I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna see. Dan, Lakers fan, do you think we need Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance back? Nah, they're not making much of a difference in Cleveland, honestly. They're role players, and they're never gonna be stars. But you know, they were good role players. But even Clarkson wouldn't show up sometimes. He was very streaky, very consistent. I think actually Isaiah has been a bit more consistent than Clarkson since he's been here. He was averaging 18 points and 5 assists. But my thing is, he had a bad game tonight. People are gonna kill him because they're just waiting. You know, he's pretty much on people's hit list. A lot of people are waiting for him to have a bad game to say, "See, I told you so," or to say, "You know what, Isaiah's trash. I can't wait for this bum to get off the team." Blah blah blah. Half of those people just watch ESPN, man. They don't have a mentality of their own. Isaiah is not trash. He's injured. That's the difference. He's not gonna have the same kind of games that he had in Boston yet, but maybe one day he'll recover and he'll get back to that form. But it's okay. He's not gonna do that with us, obviously, because he's looking for a starting spot. And when we made the trade, like I said, whatever he gives us is going to be a bonus. We made this trade for the cap space and for the draft pick, which can potentially help us clear out that Dane contract. So it's a triple win with what he's been giving us. And tonight it just wasn't his night. And I hope that he can, change the way he played tonight. Because if this is a sign of how he's going to play the rest of the season, oh man, we're in for a load of hurt because he's only going to hurt the team if he plays like this. He did over dribble tonight, and he forced everything. He didn't let the game come to him. And as a point guard, good point guards let the game come to them. Even though he's injured, no excuses for the way he played. How do we keep track of the Cleveland pick we have? You can go to tankathon.com. They basically, all the teams that are tanking, they rank them in the opposite order. And you can see, where the pick is falling depending on how the team record is. So tankathon.com. Check it out. It's pretty cool. You can see the Lakers currently slotted at the 21st slot in the draft with that draft pick. So it's a very lucrative pick. If we can grab that pick and flip it for a little dang, to get that dang contract off or whatever, that would be great. If nobody wants to get that dang contract, then we could just keep the pick and continue to add assets. The way we've been drafting, I can't wait to see what we get next. But maybe we could even draft a center in this draft. I don't know. But we'll see. Who said Lopez should have taken the last shot? I agree. At least he makes free throws. I thought, like I said, I thought my first option would have been, as a head coach, would have been Kuzma. Now, if they deny him the ball, I would have went to Julius because he could take you off the dribble. He could pull up too, He has nice little handles and everything. So I would have went to him secondly. And lastly, to me, it would have been either Brook or Lonzo. There's no way Isaiah should have shot that. He was off. Do you see Anthony, PG, and Westbrook playing good? They're playing good right now. However, come playoff time in a 7-game series, especially depending on who they match up with. If they stay in the 4th seed, they might have an advantage over the first round. But second round, if they face the Houston Rockets, the Warriors, or the Trailblazers, they're going to have some trouble, I'll tell you, because those teams can light you up. Mostly, I just don't see any depth outside of that. Outside of Anthony, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook, they need a good bench, and they just don't have that. Corey Brewer was a nice little addition. However, you need some shot makers in the playoffs because defenses in a 7-game series, they start figuring out your offense and they take away your strengths. And that's when you have to hit them with the unexpected, right? You have to hit them with counter moves. That way your stars can get open again. But if they don't hit shots, even Russell Westbrook is going to struggle in a 7-game series. So I'm just saying, like, they need their bench to step up big time. And, I mean, who's going to step up for them? Raymond Felton? I mean, who's it going to be? I don't know. Westbrook can play defense, though. Yeah, but defense isn't going to win you the whole series. You also need offense. You know, defense is a part of it, a big part of it. You know, but you need that offense as well, man. And Brewer is shooting 50% from threes. Well, I mean, he got a new life playing for his old coach from Florida, so that's good for him. But I don't expect that to happen in the playoffs at all. Dan, if the Lakers were in the East, we would be 3 games behind to make it in the 8th seed. This is why I am in favor of taking the best 16 teams in the league rather than the conference. I understand that. I like West versus East, man. Honestly, it's much more exciting to see the best team out of the East come out and face the best team out of the West. I would hate to see 2 Eastern teams battle it out for the NBA championship. It's not natural. It seems a little weird to me, personally. So that's just me, though. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 2 Western Conference teams battle it out in the finals, but I don't know, man. It's been going on like this for the longest, and I don't see a need to change it. The West is stacked, but that's never really hurt anybody. You know, you got to get better, man. It just makes you stronger. That's why the West always wins the championship, because it's the battle of the best, man. That's why we call it the West. MA Heat fan, do you see Wade coming back next year? Wade still looks like he has some life in him. I mean, he looked good after they traded for him there in Miami. So I think Wade has another year, especially if they make a run. However, it's going to be up to him. You know, if he's tired of the same old thing, then he might call it quits. But honestly, I don't know. I just feel like Wade still has a little bit left in the tank. We have to beat the best. I agree, Kevin King. I love the West, man. I wouldn't want it any other way. I don't want our conference to weaken in favor for us to make it to the playoffs. No, that's not. You know, if we're going to make it, I want us to earn it. You know, I don't want us to take the easy route, just like the East. So, Dan, super teams need to end. Well, as long as you have superstars like LeBron who are, you know, master recruiters of basically GM/players, that's not going to happen. You know, we need LeBron and those type of players to be more humble in order for super teams to end. I wish Boogie was still an option. Me too, man. I absolutely love DeMarcus Cousins, and him and Julius would absolutely kill the league. But I just don't know anymore with this injury. I don't even know if he's going to be just as good or whatever, but we'll see. Damn, Boogie would have been great. It would have been amazing. Spurs are playing good. That's good for them. I mean, if the Spurs are playing good, that's good for them. I don't know. They might make the playoffs. I mean, anything's better than the Clippers making the playoffs, but we'll see. Dan, who's your least favorite Laker ever? Tyler Ennis is moving up my rankings. Nah, for me, it was Smush Parker, man, and Kwame Brown. They got to be my least favorite. Those two wasted like 2 years of Kobe's prime. I cannot stand those players. And then they still, well, not Kwame. Kwame was humble about it, but Smush Parker proceeded to talk smack as if he was an all-star. So that's what really gets me boiling about Smush, you know. Dan, how many games we have win and loss now to make the playoffs? We're basically like 8 games back now with 13 left. So we don't have any wiggle room, and we would need a lot of teams to suck in order to even, you know, in order to even get in there, you know. Boogie and Lopez, damn, best combo centers. Nah, if we get Boogie, we definitely don't want Lopez. No way. For sure, Kevin King, I appreciate it, man. I'm a little chill too, man. Talking to you guys always helps me. Yeah, I was like super upset we lost, but at the end of the day, I'm just tired, man. I'm gonna go straight to bed after this because I got some work tomorrow. But you know what, Laker Nation, just be proud of what the team has done. I get it. You know, these last couple of games haven't been ideal, but you know, you got to be proud, man. Julius is a monster. We know that now. You know, Ingram, Lonzo, Kuzma, they all have a bright future. They're all keepers. We know that now. We have an identity. All we need is to add a star or two, and we're good. You got to stay positive. Even though we lost this game, we should have won. Again, it was equal, you know, a lot of blame to go around to multiple people. But like I already covered in this video, coaching staff needs to put us in the best position to finish out the game. Isaiah Thomas was having an off night. You don't put him in the last play. Period. That's just me, though. But we'll see what happens. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, we got another game coming up versus the Indiana Pacers. Hopefully we get our boy back, you know. We need Brandon Ingram back. I mean, he provides so much leadership, and he's like a second point guard, like a true point guard to have on the court, as well as a wing and a good wing defender. So, you know, speedy recovery wish to Brandon Ingram, and much love to all you guys. Thank you for showing support. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again Monday. Peace out.